Hi, it's me again, and yeah, a few stories to get through today on this lovely day in the park. Blinding the weather the last couple of days, isn't it? It's nice. I'm glad I joined that golf club now. I've been getting my money's worth. But yeah, a few things to get through. All BBC related, local paper story, got an advert, a couple of FOI things that I've been looking into, and I've got a few filed at the minute that I'm waiting for responses back on. So I'll talk to you about those obviously when the responses come in. Well, what a blinding day in the park, look. It's nice and quiet down here today as well, which is nice. Look at that. Lovely down here, isn't it? So yeah, like I said, I've got a couple of things. Come on, there you go. And I've got an advert I found. I was in a bit of a 90s car rabbit hole on YouTube this weekend, and I was watching Dennis Waterman's Garages from Hell on YouTube. It's actually quite watchable. But whoever put it on YouTube left the ads in from the old VHS tape, and this was on there. Have a look.
The art of fishing is something you'll turn to again and again.
What a beauty.
Well, keeping the estate in order is such a difficult business these days. It's always an enormous amount of work to do. One found myself picking and choosing which bills to pay, and I chose to ignore the television license. And that landed me in court, a nice fine, dished out by an old school chum of mine. Not very nice. That was the last straw. I had to bite the bullet and open the place to the public. Quite a nightmare. I suppose one should be grateful.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise to find an ad break on an old 90s car show I found on YouTube. But yeah, it's not just you poor people we're picking on. We can pick on the poshos as well. Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. Nice that. I just thought it was funny. Thought that was a funny one to show you. So I've got a couple of other bits. You know, I like local papers. I've got a bit of a stick in my bum about local papers and the stories about the TV licence fees. I don't like the naming and shaming. I've got another one here, but someone's obviously been paying a bit of attention because I've said a few things in the past about them, and it seems they've been paying attention. Look, have a look at this one with me. Fuck, this bench is going to fall apart. If I stack it here, send it in the Beadle. Hey, where are we? This is in the Gazette and Herald. I don't know where locally it is, but look, it's Wiltshire. Wiltshire man has been brought before the courts for using a TV without a licence. Okay, you know I don't like these. And then he gives the full name and basically the guy's complete address. But it says here, initially pleaded not guilty on August the 18th to using a television receiver at his home for the 5 months up to the date of December 16th without paying for an appropriate licence. Worded a bit differently, and it does continue to be worded a bit differently. The defendant was found to have been using the equipment to watch record live programmes and was advised by letter that he could avoid prosecution if he purchased a licence in full or maintain payments towards a licence as detailed in the TV Licensing Prosecution Code. You see, it's a bit different, isn't it? It's worded a bit different, which is interesting. Every time you hear one of these, I'm always saying they do no journalism at all. Nothing. They never say what you can and can't do or what the problem was. And this, I can't do me inverted commas, journalist has paid a bit of attention. So look, the 58-year-old failed to comply with the offer for an out-of-court disposal and then changed his plea to guilty. So possibly TV licensing be a bit fair there. He was caught watching stuff without a licence. He was offered a chance to buy a licence and put it all behind him, and he didn't take it. You know, he received a £103 fine and must pay £34 to fund victim services. So again, when they threaten you with that £1,000 fine, it's really rarely given out. You never see it being given out. You'd think if they did, they'd advertise it a bit more heavily. But no, £103. But the journalist, in inverted commas, goes on to say a TV licence costs £159 a year and is required to record programmes, use catch-up services like the iPlayer and watch free channels or channels that are part of paid packages. So, generally, they don't do anything like that. So whilst I don't like that we've got naming and shaming going on here, they've actually put some work in and explained what the TV licence covers. So yeah, okay. It's one of the better ones I've seen. I still don't like the naming and shaming in the local area. Local people being named and shamed in the local paper. I don't like it. But credit where it's due. I've done a bit better than some. Right, so what else we got here? I filed an FOI for this one. Jerry Halliwell Horner is revealed as the latest Cbeebies bedtime story reader. Now, I don't have a problem with this. It's not a problem. I'm not having one of my big digs about the BBC. Apparently, it's a good show with good ratings that parents very much enjoy watching with their children. All I wanted to know was how much the fee is, because these names and these celebrities don't do it for free. They could. But I don't work for free, so yeah, I'm interested to know how much they pay, just for my own personal interest. Not necessarily going to have a dig at the BBC about it. I just would like to know. So I filed this FOI request. They haven't answered yet. I'll let you know when they do. I'd like to know the talent fee for Cbeebies Storytime. Many well-known people have appeared on the show. From cursory research, the show doesn't appear to be made by BBC Studios or Productions, so if it is a BBC show, please inform me of the fee paid to talent. Because if it's produced by a third party, for some reason they consider BBC Studios a third party, they won't tell me. But from what I gather, it is produced by the BBC themselves. I could be wrong on that. But, hang on, I'll turn you around. Turn around, go on. They do like to get out of answering FOIs about finances by saying it's data protection for the third party, or it can affect the third party's ability to do business, or they've always got an answer. So I don't suppose I'm going to get an answer to my question. And it's not the most important question in the world, is it? But just for my own interest, I'd like to know. All right, what else we got? Oh, I did get an FOI answered for this one. I saw this. This was ages ago. Where was it? Yeah, 10th of September. Mrs. Brown's Boys slammed as drivel by viewers as iconic BBC comedy returns. So you know how I feel. Hang on, I'll turn you back around. You know how I feel about Mrs. Brown's Boys. Not my cup of tea, and they spend a lot of money on it. And I don't often hear a lot of good things said about it. My brother-in-law, we were talking about it the other day, and he said he really enjoyed it when it used to be out, but the most recent one's a complete tat, and there's a waste of licence fee money, even though he pays it. I don't know. So I filed an FOI on this, and I do believe they have replied. So we can read this together. So this is what I put. A new series of Mrs. Brown's Boys has recently started being broadcast on BBC. Please confirm the total cost for production or buying in the show. Now, as I'm not a stakeholder or a licence fee payer in the BBC, but many of you out there are. And if you do pay the licence fee, isn't it your right to know what they're spending your money on? Whether they're making the show themselves or buying it in, they should tell you, right? So I haven't read this. So let's scroll down. The FOI Act provides that the BBC is not obliged to disclose this type of information, and we will therefore not be disclosing any information requested by you on this occasion. Information held for the purposes of art, journalism or literature by the BBC. Okay, so if it comes under art, journalism or literature, they don't have to disclose it. Mrs. Brown's Boys. Art? Unlikely. Certainly not journalism. Is it literature? No. So, tell me. Licence fee payers have the right to know what the BBC is spending their money on and how much of it is being spent. They just do. Do they not? But no. Not gonna tell you, I'm afraid. There are a few other things to go through, but I think I'll save them for another video. I've got a bit about the World Service and stuff. But if you like the BBC stuff, I'm doing like 5 a week at the minute on the other channel over on TV Licensed. Oh God, it's bright. Should have bought me ND filter and my sunglasses. So yeah, go and have a look over there, because that's where you'll find all of that stuff now, mostly. I was supposed to stop doing BBC and TV Licensed videos on this channel, but I like doing these walkabouts. It's nice to talk about it. The other channel is mostly for, I do like the green screen videos again. Yeah, I was going to do a local story today about Malden. There's rumours they're closing down. There was like a protest out there this weekend, St Peter's Hospital in Malden. It's the only hospital in Malden. And this town is getting massive. You want to see the size of the housing estates they're building around here. And the hospital wasn't like a proper hospital anyway. It did births and did some stroke work. It's not like a proper hospital. There's no A&E or anything. But it's a big town now. And you got any problems, you've got to go to Chelmsford or Braintree. Stupid. So I was going to talk about that, but I'm struggling to find some good sources on it. But I will talk about that in a video, I'm sure. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. The FOI request, massive cop-out. Massive cop-out, isn't it? And the local journalism is better. But it's not winning. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's a few people in the pub today. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Whenever that'll be. Ta-da!